go back to the gym, work, because you have more to show. You understand? Life continue. You cannot live in the past. I'm really good on that, you understand? I learned by the years that, listen, Cristiano, let's go. Because pain, you're gonna have all the time, uncertainty and constant work. It doesn't matter what's it's gonna happen in your life, you have to continue. This is the way I see the life.
You know, the war that you have to really fight is the war against yourself. You have to fight the war against yourself. Now, it's not easy to look in the mirror and to change your own life. It's hard as hell. You have to take responsibility. You have to learn new things. You have to feel uncomfortable. Good, because discomfort is how we grow.
You become very, very powerful when you overcome yourself. All those things you once cowered from, you were afraid of, when you face them eye to eye every day, you now become a person who has a great podcast.
Well, no one's gonna help you. No one's ever gonna help you guys. You gotta help yourself. And I hate to say this, you really can't trust anyone but yourself. And if you trust yourself and you bet on yourself, you'll never lose. But if you start to put someone else's efforts in the equation of success for your own individual path, you're gonna be sadly mistaken on what comes from that path. Bet on yourself, believe in yourself. Don't allow anyone else's opinion, voice, actions to dictate what's going on. Because the further and further and further along the path you go, and the closer and closer you get to the end goal, that result, you're gonna see more and more people start acting funny around you.
In saying, this is my fault, those are also the first two steps of progress. Because it's my fault, not anyone else's, which means it's my responsibility and my action that can change that. And I think that marrying short-term pain with long-term progress is one of the first connections that most people who are on that path have to make.
There's been many days where I didn't want to work out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy, and I just forced myself. And I think there's very few people out there that know how to force themselves. That's a learned skill. It's that kind of discipline and focus. You have to have like real rigid requirements of yourself where you don't allow yourself to back out of things and you don't allow yourself to slack off.
Don't just like do the bare minimum. Don't just do what comes easy. You know what I'm saying? Get better. Maximize yourself. You know, every single day. The goal is to get better 1% every single day. And you do that, like I said, you do that 365 times, you got 365% better. That's over 100%. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna have days where you take a step back. Just like the next day, try and take 2 steps forward. You know what I'm saying? So like that's my whole goal, is to maximize myself. So
if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter.
All right, you're going to fall. You're a human. There's no excuse for falling. It seems like a paradox, but it's not a paradox, okay? But you've got to forgive yourself, all right? The past is the past. And you've got to leave the past in the past. And until you can walk away from the past, you cannot have a future. You cannot live in the past and the future at the same time.
Bro, you better believe that you need to think you're the baddest motherfucker that ever fucking lived before you go and perform. But every other minute of the day, you're a beginner. I'm here to learn. I'm here to get better. I'm here to fucking work. And that's how it works. That's how humility plays into this. So if you want to continue to get better, stop thinking that you're not in control of your ups and downs. Start realizing that you are, and your ups and downs will be controlled by your ability to detach your own identity from your work ethic. And if you continue to do the work and you dedicate yourself to the work and you do the work better than anyone, you will perform better than anyone, and you won't have that slide down the backside of the curve.
Seneca said, while we wait for life, life passes. When you understand that your days are counted, that your days are limited, you begin to work with urgency towards your goals. You begin to work with urgency towards the things that you want in life. People say, well, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get started when the new year hits. It doesn't work that way. Life passes you by with no urgency, but day by day. And so many people live and wake up like accidents that they forget this beautiful principle that life is in your control, and if you want to experience a certain type of outcome and a certain type of future, you must input the necessary labor today. Don't let life pass you by.